Gao Tu's pregnancy almost killed him. His body was already fragile, weakened from years of hiding behind lies, suppressants, and painkillers. Yet when life grew inside him, he chose to fight against the odds, even if it meant putting his own existence on the line. For as long as anyone could remember, Gao Tu had played the role of the perfect beta. To the outside world, he was calm, steady, dependable, and without complications. He worked hard, he smiled when expected, and he never once allowed anyone to suspect there was more to him than what met the eye. But beneath this carefully constructed mask lay a truth he had hidden since childhood. Gao Tu was an omega. From a very young age, he had taken suppressants, forcing his body to erase any sign of what he truly was. His scent, his cycles, the natural instincts that should have defined him as an omega, all suppressed until the world believed he was nothing more than a beta. It was a gamble with life itself. Suppressants damaged the body. They corroded health, drained vitality, and left scars that could not be healed. Yet Gao Tu bore it all willingly. Because for him, there was only one reason worth the suffering: Shen Wenling. Gao Tu's heart had belonged to Wenling for as long as he could remember. 10 years of silent devotion. 10 years of love that went unspoken yet burned brighter than anything else in his life. And so, he endured. He accepted the pain. He allowed himself to waste away if it meant staying by Wenling's side as the beta Gao Tu, not the omega he truly was. But fate was cruel. After the night that changed everything between them, Gao Tu made a decision that would alter his life forever. He ran. He could not face Wenling. Not as an omega, not carrying his child. Alone, hidden away in a small apartment, he confronted the most terrifying truth: he was pregnant. The doctor who examined him had been grave, his tone heavy with warning. Gao Tu, your body is too weak. Years of suppressants have damaged you severely. Carrying a pregnancy under these conditions could kill you. I advise termination. The words cut through him, sharp as knives. But Gao Tu refused. How could he end the life already beating inside him? How could he destroy the child who represented everything: love, devotion, hope that he had clung to for so long? To others, it might have been a medical decision. To Gao Tu, it was impossible. This child was Wenling's. This child was his love made flesh. He would endure anything, fear, even death, if it meant bringing this fragile life into the world. From that moment on, Gao Tu's existence became a battlefield. Every day was a war against his own failing body. Breathing grew difficult. Walking across a room left him gasping, his chest tight, his body trembling. Sleep rarely came, broken into fragments by sharp pains that struck at any hour. His apartment, though small and secluded, became both sanctuary and prison. The silence weighed heavily on him, and every sound: the groan of floorboards, the hum of passing cars, even the whisper of wind reminded him how utterly alone he was. He curled on the floor often, clutching his stomach, tears slipping silently down his cheeks. "Stay strong," he whispered to the child. "Hold on. I will protect you." His voice was raw, his throat aching from speaking to no one but the life inside him. Yet those whispers were his anchor. Every flutter, every faint movement from within reminded him that he was not truly alone. The suppressants he had once relied on now felt like chains tightening around him. They had given him years of safety, years of hiding, but at a cost so high it was now threatening his life. His body, worn down, could barely sustain itself, let alone the child he carried. Each day his energy drained further. His skin grew pale, his strength withered, and the smallest efforts left him on the edge of collapse. Still, he endured. He told himself he could not afford to falter. This child was depending on him. His love for Wenling, though shrouded in distance and secrecy, gave him a reason to survive. Gao Tu longed for Wenling's presence desperately. He imagined his warmth, his voice, his steady hands offering reassurance. But in reality, he had nothing but silence. He couldn't let Wenling know. He couldn't risk discovery. The secrecy became suffocating, but he clung to it, convincing himself it was the only way to keep his baby safe. The doctor's warnings haunted him. Termination is the safest option. The words echoed in his mind every time pain ripped through his body. And oh, the pain, it was relentless. It came in waves, sharp and unyielding, leaving him curled on the floor, drenched in sweat, trembling so badly he could barely breathe. Sometimes he thought he would die right there in that cold apartment, alone. But every time, when the pain passed and he felt the soft flutter within, he whispered to the child again, "We're still here. We'll make it. I won't give up." Weeks dragged on like years. Gao Tu learned to move slowly, carefully. Every action was deliberate, sitting, standing, eating, even drinking water. He rationed his strength like a soldier preserving rations in war. He spoke to the child endlessly, telling stories, sharing his dreams, whispering about Wenling and the love that had brought this tiny life into existence. Loneliness was a constant torment. Nights were the hardest. Lying awake, staring at the ceiling, pain pressing down on him. He would sometimes cry until his body shook. His heart yearned for Wenling more than anything. To feel his arms around him. To hear his voice saying it would be all right. But those comforts remained only in his imagination. In reality, he faced the darkness alone, his tears soaking the pillow as he clung to the fragile hope that he and his baby would survive another day. The suffering was endless. His body screamed in protest at every step. His emotions swung between fierce determination and crushing despair. There were moments when he thought he could not go on, when death seemed like a mercy compared to the agony. Yet each time, he placed his hand over his abdomen, feeling the faint pulse of life inside him, and remembered why he endured. The pregnancy almost killed him. And again. He fainted more than once, waking up cold and terrified, convinced he had lost the baby. He vomited until his throat burned. He bled at times, pain stabbing through him like knives, and each time he thought it was the end. But somehow, by sheer will, by sheer love, he carried on. This was not just about his body anymore. It was about his spirit, his will to live, his love for the child, his devotion to Wenling. Each day he pushed past the limits of what a person could endure. His suffering was immeasurable, but his resolve was unbreakable. And so, Gao Tu kept going. Alone, hidden, so sharp it could have destroyed him. The pregnancy almost killed him, yes, but it also revealed the depths of his heart, the power of his devotion, and the strength of a love that refused to die. Every sleepless night, every trembling step, every tear shed in silence, they were all proof of his courage. Gao Tu's suffering was immense, but his love was greater still. He would endure to the end no matter the cost. Because this child was more than just life. It was love, it was hope. It was Wenling.